right, guys, good evening. It is now 10:38 p.m. on Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, 10:38 p.m. New York time. Just want to make a brief follow-up. The RBNZ rate decision and statement is now out, and they did decide to go ahead and reduce their interest rate, their overnight cash rate, by the expected amount, and that was 25 basis points. And so there you go. They lowered it, it was from 1.75, and they did lower it a quarter point as expected. There was an immediate drop across the board of the Kiwi, across all the pairs. On the Kiwi dollar, dropped 75 points. And basically, what they said is, they wanted to lower it to support employment and keep inflation ticking up. Inflation has been down, and so they're trying to push that up, and so that's why they want to cut rates. And they're also worried about slowing global economy, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, if you go to forexlive.com, you'll find some interesting numbers here. So they did lower some of the cash rate expectations going forward. So basically, they're seeing the cash rate later this year being at 1.59 versus previous 1.75, lower in June of 2020, lower still in September of 2020. And not until 2022 where they're expecting to see it kind of start to tick back up again. And so for CPI, they're expecting CPI by June 2020, which of course is still a year away, at 1.7, which is no change. And so basically it was, I guess, a dovish announcement. Look, I mean, they cut the rate, so that makes it dovish. Basically, that there was immediate downside to it. So again, there's more summary here from Reuters. Reached by consensus. Weaker domestic spending and projected growth and employment headwinds. They wanted to stimulate the economy more. Global slowdown. Downside risk to investments. Was agreed that the outlook for employment growth is more subdued. Overall risk to the inflation projection were balanced. Was agreed that inflation expectations remain well anchored at the midpoint of the target range. So this was the only real bright spot, if you want to call it that. They're saying, inflation is low, but it's not too low, and they just figured they juice the economy a little bit more, they can get this going. So that's basically it. You can go here to the rbnz.government.nz and go into the news section, and it's right on top here. They have the official statement here. I know you guys can't read this far left column, but this is it right here. This will only take you a few minutes to read. It's not very long. That's pretty much it. And but what I just showed you was pretty much the summary, anyways. So that was it, guys. Just looking at the charts, you can see basically across the board. This is the Aussie Kiwi, of course, spiked up, and pretty much you look across the board at all the pairs. But you see how much they pulled back. So this is pretty much the case. Kiwi Swiss, Kiwi Yen, Kiwi Dollar, all of them. Big drops, 70, 80 pips, but now they've all pulled back to, they're still down from the pre-announcement levels now that we're 40 minutes in, but still, we've gone from being down 80 pips on the Kiwi dollar to only being down 22. So a significant pullback. And of course, that's being seen all across the board here. There's Euro, Kiwi, again, big spike up and then pulled back. So we'll be interesting to see what happens when the London session opens. If we have kind of the same thing that happened to the Aussie, where It moved one way during Asia and then switches and goes back the other way. Although I think this announcement was more dovish than what we got from the RBA last night. So it'll be interesting to see. But right now, this is probably a lot of profit taking going on. Big spikes. People, took their profit and now are selling out positions. During the slower Asian session. So watch the session, the London session tomorrow. Although, honestly, it might be a situation where, the market really was, even though it was 50-50, I think the market may have already kind of priced in the rate cut. And so we've got this, exhaustion blow off lows here, and now maybe we'll turn back up. So that is a possibility, guys, that, like I said, the market had kind of already priced in this move. So, of course, the news comes out, you get one more big push, and then that's it. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. I don't expect we're going to see much more here during the Asian session. Things will probably just kind of go to sleep here for the next several hours until London opens. But watch out for what will happen. I can't imagine there won't be some reaction when the liquidity comes back into the market again. But again, whether it's going to resume these downtrends or whether we're going to reverse and go up as a result of the market just pricing in this move, and now that's it. So that remains to be seen. And I think it's interesting if you just look at the awesome oscillator on my chart here. We had this enormous spike down, and yet we only had this little move on the oscillator, as compared to these on the histogram here. So that's to me is interesting. Now this is only the hourly chart, so can't really put a lot into that. But here, same thing on the 4-hour chart. Again, big move down. The oscillator did not match that, and same thing on the daily. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, guys, but be wary of a reversal tomorrow during London session when the market just says, you know what, we got everything we were going to get out of that rate cut, and the Kiwi's been hammered for weeks now. Ever since the RBNZ put out their more dovish tilt back in March. So, for over a month now, we've been kind of hammering the Kiwi, and we really got just pretty much what we expected today. And so maybe that's all the downside there is for right now. So keep an eye out for that, guys. I'm not saying to take a long on the Kiwi right now. That still would be counterintuitive based on the news, but it is a possibility. So I'll be watching. That's what I will be watching for during the London session tomorrow. Is where it goes from here after the big spike down, and now we've pulled way back. So all right, guys. So that's it. Just wanted to leave that video. So hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video, share it, comment, like the channel if you're finding it for the first time. And if you didn't watch the preview video I made a couple hours ago into this, please do so. And hope you enjoyed it. And I will talk to everybody really soon. Have a great night. Appreciate you watching.